Hello everyone, my name is Jason and I hope you're doing well today. Today we will be talking about contextual restriction and faultless disagreement about generics across development. Here are two people. One of them says pineapple goes on pizza and the other says pineapple doesn't go on pizza. On the surface, they are making contradictory claims and seem to be very angry about it. But could they both be right? We think yes, if they are restricting their claims to different contexts. But what does that mean? It means that this person right here is making claims about what is acceptable in Italy, which is one context, while the other, this person right here, is talking about what's common in the United States, another context. Cases like this, when people say different things but can both be right, are called faultless disagreement. Now, he had two questions. Could adults recognize faultless disagreement when it comes to generic statements like pineapple goes on pizza, when the claims have different scope? Could children do it? While prior work had doubts about whether both adults and children could do this, some work said children do not understand faultless disagreement until 8 to 9 years of age. We believe it's possible they would have an understanding of this even earlier. Both kids and adults learned about fictional species and their characteristics on a novel planet called Pluke. Here's an example right here. Then two speakers about these species are introduced to the participants. Most importantly, sometimes their claims are actually about different contexts. We had four conditions, and I'm going to focus on two. Same context, meaning they're talking about the same island, and different context, meaning they are talking about different islands. In each condition, speakers would make claims like this: Trix mice are striped, and Trix mice are spotted. You know? Finally, we asked, could they both be right? And our participants responded on the following scale: for sure no, maybe yes, and for sure yes. As predicted, adults allowed faultless disagreement between speakers talking about different contexts more than between speakers who were referring to the same island. And here are the orange and green section for adults right here. The youngest group, the 5 to 6 year olds, can make the main distinction like adults. And here are the orange and green for 5 to 6 year olds right here. This is surprising. Based on prior lit, this is early for them to understand this. But they are still kids, and the rest of their responses were not as nuanced as adults. So we have some novel and surprising findings. First, both adults and children understand that a generic claim can be restricted to specific contexts. And even more surprising is that children allow for faultless disagreement starting as early as 5 years of age, way earlier than previous literature has suggested. Why are kids doing better on our task? Maybe because the task itself is different. Or maybe we're tapping into different cognitive mechanisms. We can't tell with this idea, but this is something for future work. Perhaps understanding that different people can say different things about different locations, cognitive scaffolding, helps children understand different perspectives and master more difficult instances of faultless disagreement. It's been Jason Mosley. Great time talking about contextual restriction and faultless disagreement about generics across development. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope that you have a great day.